Okay.
Where were you?
Where were
I
we?
was in LA in Santa Ana Classification Center. We used to get passes on Saturday night. And I used to go downtown LA and listen to the big bands. There were all sorts of big bands. And I got to hear all the famous ones. They finally sent us up to our primary training schools, and they sent me up to King City, California, which was about halfway up to San Francisco. Very tiny town. The airplanes that we flew were single wing and a support up in the middle of the aircraft and cables holding up the wings practically. Ryan PT6. It was propelled by a 5-cylinder engine with wooden propellers.
This was a trainer?
Yeah.
Oh,
But they want to lose a few of them?
We really didn't lose anybody in Primer.
No.
The washout rate in primary school was up about 65%. If you washed out, you just disappeared. Nobody knew where you went.
They sent you to limbo.
Yeah. I remember walking down the street, the company street, and this little base, and there was one guy sitting in a pitch where there should have been, I think, 8. And he was the last one. 7 of them had washed up. And he was really moaning, but he made it.
Yeah, you should have been smiling and happy.
Then they put us on a train and we went up to, I was proposing to Mother by mail while I was in King City, California. And I sent the first proposal and I immediately followed it up with another one. I figured she's gonna say no at first. And I gotta weaken her, gotta soften her up. So finally, she said no, she's not gonna come out and get married. She was just gonna come out and visit on her vacation. Well, she came out by train. What a trip.
It was fun. A lot of young people, I sit up, with the lounge chair. No sleepers, but you could relax. And I met another girl and we palled around together. Because when you get to Chicago, you have to get off that train and get on another one later that night. So we went to
Yeah,
Marshall Field's department store, which was one of the biggest there was in those days. And they were selling things for servicemen. They asked people to bring in their extra cameras and things like that. They wanted to have them available for servicemen. And I bought this nice
folding camera.
no, not a move.
A folding camera.
Oh, folding camera, the kind that collapsed. You remember those? No, you weren't born yet.
I've seen them.
Yeah. And we had lunch there, this girl and I, and they had a fashion show, and then we'd get on the next train and go from there to California. And I don't remember, then I had to come up the coast to where you were.
Yes, you had to get off.
I don't know how I did all this, I just did it. And then I got off at the right place where he was.
Once she got out there, we went up to San Francisco for a weekend and we visited Old St. Mary's Church and made arrangements to get married there 2 weeks
They
later.
must have convinced me when I got there.
And the graduation day was a fixed time. And I knew I was gonna be going up to Chico, California. So we had to go about 160 miles to San Francisco and 160 miles to Chico. And one of my friends had a car.
He was a
Convertible.
California boy and he had his car. He lived in,
in
his family lived
Burlington,
yeah. Across from the,
across the river, across the bay.
yeah, in, oh boy, you forget those things.
Oakland?
What's that?
Oakland?
Not
No.
Oakland, no,
It was B. Anyway,
Berkeley.
Berkeley.
that was it.
He lived on the edge of Berkeley with his parents.
And we made all the arrangements with the priest to be married. And everything after that was just guesswork. So I returned to King City and Mother went to New York. I said, go home, give your boss 2 weeks' notice, and then come back. She did.
My boy says, don't you know there's a war on? I don't think I even answered him.
Yeah.
He didn't need me. I wasn't doing that much for the war effort. They were running ships. This was a steamship company. My Uncle John worked for one. And this man opened a new business and he wanted my Uncle John to be his partner, to go in with him. But my Uncle John had a good job and he didn't want to give it up for something. But it was very successful. We came from my Uncle John's company to this new company, Stockard. And I think we worked from October to December and we got 2 weeks' salary for Christmas. It was better than the stock where you were. And then the next year, when business is good, you get big bonuses from steamship companies. And I got a big one.
And what was,
We had a graduation day in King City, and we wanted to have a dance afterwards. So we went to see the officer in charge, who happened to be a second lieutenant. And we said that we would like to have a graduation dance in the hangar. We'd like the permission. And he said, we never had a graduation dance here before. Well, our guys all responded, is that any reason why not to have one? So he finally agreed, and I was set up as a committee of one to try to get a band, a dance band, on that particular night.
And where did you get the books that told you where you find all these things?
I don't know where I got these things. I had so many leads, and I was on the phone constantly with LA and San Francisco.
Internet.
yeah,
And, at one point, the agent said, we have a band that's available. It's Armstrong. I said, not Satchmo. He said, yeah, Louis. I went back to the
Committee?
guys that were in the committee. I said, guess what? I can get Louis Armstrong. And we were quoting the prices. Oh, the prices varied. Some of the big bands were $2,000 for the one night. And Satchmo was down around 1,200 or so. And we had some southern boys and they didn't want a black band either. They didn't say that, but they said we couldn't dance, they couldn't dance to his music. And I kind of agreed with that. So I went back and told the agent, no, forget it. He said, how about as a local band in LA, and they're finishing up their gig and they're on the train going through your town that afternoon, and they could get off the train, play for the gig, and then first available train up to San Francisco,
Yeah.
because they were gonna be playing up in San Francisco.